Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, and today we are going to start chapter 5 Yoga. Today we will be discussing about history of yoga, meaning of yoga and importance of yoga. We are not having any authentic information about the history of yoga, but we have some information and evidences available at the time. So, on the basis of the available information, we conclude some points, and these are that yoga is originated in India, means basically its origin is India. The history of yoga is related to the Indus Valley civilization. So when we see the scriptures of the Indus Valley civilization, then we come to know that the yoga was part of this Indus Valley civilization, and hence we can say that history of yoga is related to this civilization. And one more thing is that there are two types of sources, primary source and secondary source. So generally for retaining or for gaining information about yoga or history of yoga, we depend on secondary sources like sculptures, scriptures, and on the basis of these we come to know that yoga was a part of Indus Valley civilization. Also, yoga is mentioned in Mahabharata, Ramayana and Upanishads, and Patanjali also wrote about yoga in 147 BCE. Saints like Kabir, Tulsidas, Surdas also mentioned about yoga in their writings. These are some of the famous personalities of India, and they have also mentioned about the yoga in their writings. Thus, yoga is a large part of the Indian culture. Hence, from all these points, we conclude that yoga is a part of Indian culture, and that to a large extent. Now, let us understand the meaning of the word yoga. Basically, we have derived the word yoga from the Sanskrit word yuj, which in verb form means to unite or to join. That means the word yuj, the Sanskrit word yuj means to join or to unite something. So, yoga is the noun form of yuj and it means union. It is concerned with the union of the individual soul with the absolute or divine soul. That means the yoga is concerned or is related to the union of the human soul with the divine soul. A science of development of an individual's consciousness. That means in reality, when we are conscious, that science is called yoga. Unification of Atma with Paramatma. Basically, it is the same thing, that is the union of the individual soul with the divine soul. That means when our soul unifies or does unification with the divine soul, it is known as yoga. It also means the unification of physical, mental, intellectual and spiritual aspects of human being. Means when these all aspects of human being are unified, then it is known as yoga. Now, let us have a look at some point of views and definitions given by famous persons. According to Patanjali, checking the impulses of mind is yoga. According to Maharishi Ved Vyas, yoga is attaining the pose. According to Swami Sampurnanand, yoga is spiritual Kamdhenu. We know that Kamdhenu is a name given to a special cow which gives us whatever we want. So here Swami Sampurnanand has compared yoga with Kamdhenu. According to Agam, the knowledge about Shiv and Shakti is yoga. Oneness of man with God is known as yoga. This is said by Sri Bharati Krishna Tirtha that when the man unifies with the God, or the man and God unify, then it is known as yoga. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, skills in actions or efficiency alone is yoga. So these were the various definitions or various sayings of different people about yoga. Now let us discuss about the importance of yoga. So is there any importance of yoga? Yes, of course. There is a great importance of yoga in everyone's life. Ken Hubbard has rightly said it is pretty hard to tell what brings happiness. Poverty and wealth have both failed. That means we cannot tell that what brings happiness to a person, to a human being, because neither poverty nor wealth has succeeded in bringing happiness to a person. Because a poor person is not happy because of his poverty, and a wealthy person has some another problems due to which he is also not happy. So we cannot say that poverty or wealth or a poor person or a wealthy person who will be happy. Happiness comes when the person is or has inner peace. Modern age is the age of stress, tension and anxiety. Everything is time bound and we are chasing time. This makes us physically tired and mentally tense. In today's time, everyone is busy. We know that everyone is busy in their own work for money. Everyone is actually chasing the time, but we are leaving ourselves behind. We have not time for ourselves too. So the modern age, which is the age of stress, tension and anxiety, it has made us physically tired and mentally tense. We have devised certain means to get rid of physical fatigue, mental tension and stress. Sometimes when we are tired, when we are physically tired and we are mentally tense, then we devise certain means. That means we create certain means to get rid of all these. But actually, instead of getting peace and relaxation, we get more suffered with tension, stress and fatigue. So the means which we create for being happy are actually not the correct way to be happy. What is the correct way to be happy? It is yoga. Yoga can be significant for us as we can get rid of these problems by practicing yoga. That means whenever we do yoga, we get inner peace, and that is the only solution for our problems. Now, physical purity. Basically, we all know that there are three substances in our body that are Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So, when these all three substances are properly balanced in our body, then we are healthy, and if they are unbalanced, then we may have some health problem. So, to balance these substances in our body, we can perform some yogic exercise such as Niti, Dhoti, Nauli, Basti, Kapalbhati, Tratak, etc. And these all are known as Shat Karmas. These are the yogic exercises that we can perform to keep our internal organs clean and to maintain our physical purity. Now, yoga also keeps us protected from many diseases which usually hamper the smooth functioning of our body and also cures them. Means there are many diseases which can interrupt the smooth working or smooth functioning of our body systems. So yoga protects us from such diseases, and it not only protects but it also cures these diseases. Like Vajrasana helps control diabetes. This is one of the yogic exercise which can be helpful in controlling diabetes. Similarly, we can control a large number of diseases by performing various exercises. Now, as we have just discussed that today's modern age is the age of stress and tension. So, we need to do yoga for getting inner peace, which actually reduces the mental tension and stress. So, here are some yogic exercises which can play a vital role for restoring peace of our mind. And when our peace of mind is restored, then we can have a tension-free life. And here are some asanas or various yogic exercises that can be helpful for releasing stress and tension. Healthy body. Nowadays, everyone wants to have a healthy body and to be physically fit and mentally fit too. So, various exercises or various yogic asanas are there which we can perform to be healthy and to stay fit. They make our body strong, re-energize it and improve flexibility. That means when we perform yoga, then our body becomes strong, our body is re-energized and our flexibility is also improved. Relaxation. After performing yoga, we feel relaxed and we feel that we have taken rest, because yoga is not always done for being physically fit but sometimes for having rest, for having relaxation. There are many yogic exercises which provide us relaxation, such as Shavasana and Makrasana. Padmasana and Nadam Sadhana are good for reducing mental fatigue. Mental fatigue means when we are mentally tired, when we do not want to do any work in which we are engaging mentally. Helps maintain the correct posture of the body. We know that nowadays there are many individuals, there are many persons who have postural deformities. That means they do not have the correct posture that they should have. So we can correct our posture by doing yoga or performing various yogic asana. Here are some asana which we can perform for correcting our postures or correcting the posture of body. These are Vajrasana, Sarvangasana, Mayurasana, Chakrasana, Bhujangasana, Dhanurasana, etc. Yoga can be performed easily. Actually, when we do other exercise other than yoga or yogic exercise, then we need time and money. But when we do yogic exercise, it needs less time and less money too. Also, these yogic exercises are less expensive and can be done in short duration. These can be performed in less space. We do not require a large space for doing yoga, but we can do them in small space also. Spiritual development. Spiritual development basically means the development of our spirit. So when we do yoga, we can have a good control on our mind by doing regular yogic exercise. That means if we are doing regular yoga, if we are indulged in doing yoga, then we will have a good control on our mind. Here are some asanas which we can perform for spiritual development, and these asanas will enhance our meditation power. These are Padmasana and Siddhasana. Pranayama is also useful for spiritual development that brings peace in life. Here is another yoga which we can perform for spiritual development, and when spiritual development is there, then we have peace in our life. Increases the flexibility. When we do yoga, then our flexibility is automatically increased and our body becomes more flexible. And what is the benefit of flexibility? We know that if we are flexible, if our body is flexible, then we can make perfect movements which are required for daily routine work. And also, this flexibility is helpful in preventing us from sports injury. Here are some asanas which we can perform for increasing flexibility. These are Chakrasana, Bhujangasana, Dhanurasana, Halasana and Shalabhasana. Obesity. We know that obesity is a common problem nowadays. So, as we can see, most of the children and even adults all are having obesity. So, we can cure obesity by doing yoga. And here are some asanas, that is pranayam and specially meditative asanas. These can be helpful to reduce obesity. As obesity is also caused by mental stress and tension, so by reducing mental tension and stress through meditative asanas can reduce obesity. Basically, obesity is not only caused by improper diet, but sometimes obesity is also caused by mental stress and tension. When the person is mentally stressed and having tension, then he can have obesity too. So, we should do meditative asanas to reduce obesity. Improves health. We can also improve our health by doing yoga, as yoga helps in maintaining and improving health by making our body strong, our muscles strong and regulating other systems of the body. Means when we do yoga, our muscles become strong and other systems of our body are also regulated, and in turn our health is maintained and improved. It increases the efficiency of these systems in our body and thus improves health. Means when we do yoga, then the efficiency of the systems of our body are efficient, they work more efficiently and thus our health is improved. Nowadays, we can see a major decline, a great decline in the moral and ethical values of all of us. So, basically, by yoga, we can also enhance moral and ethical values. How? By following the first two steps of Ashtanga Yoga, moral and ethical values can be enhanced. If we follow the first two steps of Ashtanga Yoga, then we can develop and enhance our moral and ethical values. The practice of Yam and Niyam. Basically, we will discuss about these two topics in later videos, but here we can conclude that if we practice Yam and Niyam, then our moral and ethical values are enhanced and we become more strong. How? Morally and ethically. Means our moral and ethical values are enhanced. That's all for today. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.